Hi, I'm Manu Sankaran. I have a 17-year-old boy who's in the autistic spectrum. I want to talk about him mainly because we've seen miraculous changes in the last year and a half since we got our first blessings from Guruji. We met Guruji in January of 2010. And the very first indication that there was something to this power that Guruji was transmitting to us was when he walked into the room with us for our very first blessing, put his hands together and said, "Namaste, Guruji." He's met many spiritual leaders before. He had always, when we went to temples, he'd always says, "Let's get out of here." I always sensed there was some energy that disturbed him when we went places. So we got our very first blessing. We went home. A couple of days later, he started throwing up and he was coughing for 10 days. He had a lot of respiratory infections that came periodically over the years since he was 9 months old. But after those 10 days of coughing, it went away, and since then, he's not had a respiratory infection at all. For 3 days after the very first blessing, he came up to me and put his hands on my face and said, "I love you, Amma." And that was the first time he said it without me asking him to say it to me. That experience was very moving for me. As a mother, I had waited 16 years to hear my son say, "I love you." Also, after the very first blessing, he had had cherry allergy for many years. Guruji had told him, "You can eat anything you want, Sean." So he went to the store, got himself a bottle of cherry juice, and said, "Guruji said I can have anything I want," and drank it. There was no allergic reaction. Next time he went to the store, he got some real cherries. And again, he was fine. We continued to get a lot of personal blessings. And every time we went to see Guruji, we would have to wait at least 45 minutes. We knew there was a reason why Guruji was making us wait. He would get very restless initially, but as time went on, he got comfortable with it. And about 5 months ago, he sat in a room without asking for a cell phone or an iPad to distract him, and just closed his eyes and sat for 2 hours. He was always a hyper child, extremely hyperactive as a young boy. But over the years, we did lots of therapy, and there were some improvements. About a year after, actually a month after we got our first blessing, he started doing his schoolwork independently. I asked him, "If I don't help you, how are you going to do it?" He said, "If I don't know, I'll go ask my teachers. I'm a grown boy now. I can do it by myself." That was the first sign of him showing independence and confidence in what he could do. He's been on the honor roll at school. He's very excited about trying new experiences. We got used to him not wanting to go anywhere, not wanting to do anything. So when he walks up to me and says, "Let's go somewhere and do something new," I feel like I've become like him the way he used to be. And I go, "Do we really have to?" And he says, "Let's try it. Let's go do something new." His awareness has really been much better than it ever was. Wherever he goes, people always ask, "Where's your son?" if we go there without him. And wherever he goes, he pays attention to what is going on around him. He starts talking about it. Social skills and emotional receptivity within them is a challenge for children in the autistic spectrum. In the past, when he couldn't express himself, he would just shout, scream, and throw a tantrum. But ever since we started getting our blessings, he's able to tell us, he says, "I'm frustrated that I can't do this now. I'm very sad." After the first couple of months of our blessings, one time he said, "I'm feeling very sad." So I told him, "Go up to your room, close the door, and cry." And so he got used to doing that. There was an occasion at school where the teachers had asked him to write a little note in his diary about his day when he came back to school the following Tuesday. And one of the things that when the teacher sent it to us and we read it, he said, "Yesterday I got my blessings from God and I felt wonderful." We started noticing he's much more vocal. He's experiencing a lot more emotions, a variety of them, and he expresses them at a very age-appropriate level. He always says, "Guruji has told me I can be anything I want when I grow up. And I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that." His teachers are very excited. They've seen his progress in the last year. And what they noticed is the way he's able to calm the other children in his classroom, who are also children with challenges. There was one boy who was having a major meltdown, flinging things, unable to settle down. He walked up to him, tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Tough day, huh? Don't worry, tomorrow will be a better day." And the boy calmed down and the teachers didn't know why and how. About 3 weeks ago, during the long weekend, we went to visit our family in Michigan. On the way there, he said, "I'm going to behave well when I get there." And I thought, okay, that means, no tantrums, no, stubbornness about doing something. But what stumped us when we got there was the way he initiated conversation with every member. There were 6 of them. He walked up to every single person and had a very normal conversation with every one of them. Even walked up to a brother-in-law of mine who never cooks and said, "On Sunday morning, you're going to make me eggs Benedicts for breakfast." And my husband and I just looked at each other and said, "Is he actually talking to everybody?" So as a parent, we've seen remarkable changes in him. And in the last month, I just know in my heart that he is maturing. He's becoming more like children his age should behave. And I'm very grateful to the divine and Guruji because from the day that he was diagnosed, the only thing I ever said was, "God, I don't know what to do. Please help me. Show me the way. Send me the right people." And when I talk to the other families who are raising children in the spectrum, I see how blessed we are that the right people have always shown up at the right time to help us. I'd also like to share an experience I had recently that told me about the ripple effect of this energy. Autism Awareness Month is April. So I was online and people were talking about, their autistic children. And I happened to converse with a lady in the United Kingdom. And she has an 11-year-old boy in the autistic spectrum who's very echolalic. He only repeats what his mother tells him or what he hears anybody else talk around him. So one day she said, "Can I talk to you? I need some help." I said, "Sure, I'll share with you whatever we've done over the years. Maybe something here might be of help to you." So she and her husband came on Skype and we chatted and we exchanged information. And the next day, the boy came on Skype and got very excited, started clapping his hands, jumping up and down. And she introduced me and said, "That's Auntie Anu." And he said, "Auntie Anu," and just clapped and always laughing. About 2 weeks later, the same boy one day told his mother, she came on Skype and excitedly told me, "Can I log on to the video chat with you for a moment?" I said, "Sure." She said, "My son just told me, 'Mommy, sit. Call Auntie Anu computer.'" This is a boy that only repeated what people told him. And for the first time, he was initiating conversation and he gave his mother directions to do something. When I heard that, I had tears in my eyes. I know it's a very challenging and difficult journey for families that raise children in the autistic spectrum. But this energy has shown me that we can reach so many families out there that need this help simply by talking to them, because this energy has a ripple effect. I'd also like to share a little bit of the statistics. When my son was diagnosed in 1996, the incidence of autism was 1 in 10,000 children diagnosed. About 10, or even 5 years ago, the numbers dropped dramatically. It was 1 in 150 children, mostly in states like New York, Florida, California, Illinois, and Oregon, where the diagnosis rate was 1 in 150 children. Last October, I was at a game at Northwestern University, which was an autism awareness game. And I saw the statistics up on the board, and I was stunned because it said 1 in 125 children are diagnosed in the autistic spectrum, of which 1 in 91 were boys. And in May, we went for an autism walk at the Botanic Gardens in Glencoe. Walking down, I was shocked to see that the numbers had changed. The diagnosis rate was 1 in 110 children diagnosed in the autistic spectrum, and 1 in 70 boys diagnosed in the autistic spectrum. This is an epidemic. We are all going to encounter somebody who's raising a child with autism. And we should do anything we can to lend them a helping hand. Thank you.